Hey, are you tired of seeing restaurant voice assistants that rely on Google Calendar and actually breaks in the real world? In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a proper one that actually works. I built a system that handles complex table management, guest counts, and real-time availability. You'll get all the templates for free, and I'm going to show you how to build it using VAPI N8N and Airtable. Let's go!
Buongiorno, this is Sophia from Little Italy. How can I assist you today?
Hello, I would like to reserve a table, please.
I'd be happy to help you with that. Can I get your name first, please?
Alexandra.
Nice to meet you, Alexandra. For how many people and what day and time would you like to make the reservation?
6 people for tomorrow at 7 p.m., please.
Just a sec. It looks like we don't have availability for 6 people at 7 p.m. tomorrow, but we can accommodate you at 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. How do those times work for you, Alexandra?
Yes, 8:30 p.m. is perfect.
Great choice, Alexandra. May I have your email to finalize the booking?
alex@gmail.com.
Thanks, Alexandra. I'll note alex@gmail.com for the reservation. Do you have any special requests or dietary restrictions we should be aware of?
Yes, we would like to have the table near the window, please.
Got it, Alexandra. I'll make sure to reserve a table near the window for you. Let me finalize your reservation. Just a moment. Hold on a sec. Perfetto. Your reservation is confirmed for 6 people at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, Alexandra. We've got you a table near the window. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That's perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for contacting Little Italy. Have a great day.
Bye. So as I've asked a table for 6 people, only table 5 was available. But if you look in the table availability, the table at 7 p.m. was not available, so she proposed me a table at 8:30 or at 9. Then it creates a reservation and then Airtable update to make this time slot unavailable. This is how it works in Airtable. I'm Alexandra Spalato, an AI full-stack AI engineer, international public speaker dedicated to help businesses implementing AI to transform their operation. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this AI agent step by step. An AI voice receptionist can bring many benefits to the ROI of a restaurant, including boosting revenue, enhancing efficiency, accuracy, and providing valuable insights. So in terms of revenue, you are going to avoid missed calls and increase reservation by about 30%, which can bring an additional monthly revenue of $2,000 to $3,500. AI can handle calls simultaneously during peak hours, and it will also reduce reception staff cost as well as reservation management time. And of course, this will increase the customer satisfaction because a faster booking makes customer happy and will bring more positive feedback, which is essential for a restaurant. So now let's see in details how this reservation system works in Airtable. We have seen it briefly before. Now let's dive more deeply. For your information, I have created all this with the help of my good friend Claude, because there was a lot of thinking and brainstorming to make it properly. So first, in this base, we have a table which handles the table ID and the numbers of seats available for tables. So for example, for my reservation, I asked for 6 people, so only the table 5 would have been suitable for that. Then if we go to the table availability, here we see which hours are available. So if there is a reservation, for example, at 6:30, that was the case on the date of tomorrow and the tomorrow of the day I'm registering. When somebody reserves at 6:30, we need to block the 4 next 30 minutes slots, the 3 next 30 minutes slots, because a dinner is about 2 hours. So that was blocked. And then when I have reserved at 8:30 p.m., the system has blocked also the next slot, and only this one because then it's the end of the day, so we don't need to block more slots. And here we have a reservation table, and when this is complete, it automatically updates the table availability, and I have created another workflow for that we are going to see in details too. So let's dive in all these details now. Now let's see how this system works globally. So I have built this flowchart, and in green we have the VAPI interaction, in yellow the N8N interaction, and in purple the Airtable interaction. So first the customer makes a phone call that interacts with VAPI, and then when you want to make a reservation, VAPI is going to call a tool that will check the availability, and this will trigger a workflow in N8N through a webhook. So once he finds availability depending on the date, the time, and the number of guests, he's going to send back this information to VAPI through a respond webhook. So the table can be available or not. So if it's available, it will create a reservation, and so we have another tool which will create the reservation in N8N. It's another workflow, so it will call the new workflow in N8N, and this will communicate with Airtable and update the reservation table in the base in Airtable. Then it will call another, as soon as Airtable has changes in his reservation table, we have another workflow in N8N that is triggered and that will update the table availability. And then the result will update the table availability in Airtable. If the table is not available, then it will suggest alternative times. This has happened in the check availability workflow. Okay, if the customer accepts this alternative time, this is what I have done in the demo, we go back to create reservation, and if not, then VAPI will ask if the customer wants to choose another day, and if he chooses another day, we go back here to check the table availability, etc. And then when everything is done, we end the call. By the way, if you want to implement this system customized to your own needs in your business, or if you have a client that wants that and needs my help, please book a free consulting call now. Okay, so now let's see how this works in VAPI. In VAPI, I have created an assistant named Restaurant Receptionist. And for the model, I'm choosing GPT-4o Mini that is fast but intelligent and not so expensive. And the temperature, I put it to 0.7 to keep it creative, to have a nice conversation style, but not going crazy. Then here we have a first message, and we have all the prompts here that you can download from the template. So I give a role to my assistant, I describe the task in details, I give it some specifics. For example, if customer asks about the menu, provide specific example of our authentic Italian dishes, etc. And then I tell it how to handle the responses, and which is a conversation style, be warm, welcoming, charming, but keep it casual. And I provide some examples. So we also have a knowledge base. So if a customer asks about the menu or practical things, we have this knowledge base here, which has everything that you want to to give us information, and so the assistant can answer to all these questions. So to have this knowledge base, we have to go here to Files and to upload this file. Then we can link it in the assistant, okay? Then, as transcriber, we have DeepGram. As voice, I have chosen 11 Labs Jessica. I really like this voice. It's very natural and friendly. And here we have the functions that are functions and tools that are very important. So here we have two tools: check table availability and reserve table. And if we go back to the prompt, we can see that here we say to the system to use check table availability to verify availability of the requested time, and then if the table is available, proceed to collect email and special request, then use reserve table. So we create the tools here. So for example, the check availability here in integration, we put the server URL, and this is the URL of the webhook of my workflow in N8N. We are going to see that next. Then we have the title, the description. The description is very important because it also tells VAPI which tools and when you have to use these tools. And then we have properties. So here we need the date, the time, and the number of guests to be able to run this function properly and to check if there is a table available for this number of guests on this date and time, of course. And so same thing for the reserve table. So here we have the URL for the workflow, and you really need to make different workflow for different functions, not to do it with a conditional, because I have tried that while I was building and it was not working. So the system was confused, so you have to use a different workflow for each tool. So for the reserve table here, we have the date, the name, the time, the emails, the notes. For example, I want a table near the window, and the number of guests, as when we are going to update this tool is going to update the reservation table in Airtable and is going to fill all these fields. Okay, so we also have a phone number. So this phone number we imported from Twilio, and I assign it to my assistant. Now we are in N8N, and I have created 3 workflows. So check table availability and reserve table are triggered by the tools from VAPI, and this one, update tables availability, is triggered when we create a reservation in Airtable to update the table availability table in the database. Now let's explore in details how the check table availability workflow works. So first, we have a webhook as trigger, and this is very important that you choose here using respond to webhook node, because we want at the end of the workflow to have the respond to webhook to send back our result of availability to VAPI. Okay, the method is post. We need the URL to be in production, so we need to have the workflow active because VAPI is going to send the data and we want a response back. If we are in test mode, it's going to receive the message from VAPI, but we will need to run it manually, so it will not work, and the assistant will not be able to receive the availability and to answer the customer even if we are in demo. Okay, so here I have some data from another from another run. Okay, and here we can see all the data received from VAPI. So here we can see in tool calls that it's the message, it's typed tool calls because we have a tool calls of end of call report that runs at the end of the call. And here we have a tool call and the name of the function is check table availability. Okay. Then he has received also the argument that the date is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. for 2 guests. Okay, this is what we need for the next steps. So let's go back to the canvas. So here I run a conditional and this will run if the message type, as we have seen here, is equal to tool calls. So, okay, here, message type tool calls. Okay, so from there we go here. So here I have commented everything, so you will be able to have that, to download this template and to have all these comments. So here I have an OpenAI node that is going to transform the natural language dates, for example tomorrow, into real dates and format them to be inserted in, to be searched in Airtable. So this is how it works. Here, okay, I execute the previous nodes, okay, to get all this data. And here I have a prompt. So everything that I put in curly braces is JavaScript and it can be function from N8N. So for example, here today is the date of today. And I have a prompt with examples that will calculate the date, for example, tomorrow, next Monday, this Friday, etc. And we give it as input the date, okay, that we get from the argument here. So we can drag, when we are in expression mode, we can drag and drop the elements from here, okay. So let's run this, okay. And as you can see, it gives me the date of tomorrow. Well, of my tomorrow, because I come from the past. So, we are the 3rd of December today, 2024. Okay, next step. Then, some node codes, but don't be afraid. Even if I'm a developer, all these node codes that we are going to see here, there is some complex things to do that really needs code. I have generated them with Claude, or you can do it with ChatGPT, etc. It knows very well JavaScript, so it's totally doable even if you are not a coder. And anyway, in this template, you will be able to have this done for you. We need this node to transform the time to the 24-hour format, because we ask the time in the format, I want 7:30 p.m., but in Airtable we want the 24-hour format. So here it's a JavaScript function, totally generated. Even myself, I really don't like to write this type of things. And we pass the requested time that come from the webhook node. And if we run it, okay, we have this 19:30 instead of 7:30 p.m. So let's go back to the canvas. Here we set the guest, so we just drag and drop from the webhook the number of guests here. So if we run it, we can see that it's 2 guests, so everything is right. And here another code node, so we need to get the suitable tables for a given number of guests. And then we are also creating a filter that we are going to apply to the Airtable. So again, a code node, again generated. So if a guest it's -2, it's table 1 or 2, etc. And so from there, so he gets the guest from the last input, okay, the guest here, And if we test the step, we can see that the suitable tables are the T1 and T2. We can see that in JSON too, okay? So back to the canvas. Now we have an Airtable node that is going to search the records in the availability table, and then we need to filter. We get all the records and we are going to filter them by date and availability and by suitable tables. So let's open this, and okay, you see restaurant management, table availability, and this is an Airtable formula. I didn't know anything about Airtable formula, so again Claude helped me. And here, that's why in the previous node I asked you to write the table filter in a way that is suitable in the Airtable formula. So here we have this, so the status has to be available. The date, we take it from a previous node, so we drag and drop it from the parse date node, okay? And here we get the filter, the table filter here, okay? So by the way, this is a run from another base, not the one that I just did before, but you get how it works. So if we test this step, we can see that these are all the available time slots that are available on the requested day, on the requested table for 2 people, and that are available. Okay, so here we have 26 items. Okay, let's go back to the canvas. Okay, now we have another code node that will check if the requested time is available, and if it's not available, it will propose alternative times in the same period, dinner or lunch. So this one was quite complex and I have struggled a bit to do it. So we get all the information from the previous slot, the requested time, the available slot, then if it's a lunch period. And well, we make a lot of calculation here because we need to get all the slots that cover 2 hours. We filter them by period, if it's lunch or dinner. I don't want to enter in all the details, but it's really a thing of thinking how it works and really prompting Claude or ChatGPT to give you the results. But I assure you, even if I'm a coder, I didn't write any code here. And at the end, okay, we return all this data. One thing important on how the data works in N8N that was quite confusing for me, especially as developer. Normally, if I have a result, I just return it. But N8N wants array of objects, and it has the array automatically, but each time I return a result, I have to wrap it in these curly braces, which means an object, and with this JSON key, and here is my result. But normally I will only return that if I was in JavaScript outside of N8N. I think I will do a video just about the data structures in N8N because it's quite confusing, especially if you're a developer and you don't need all that. But this is how it works. And the important is now if we run it, okay, we can see that here, okay, this was an available one, okay, but it suggests all the other alternative times. So this is a run where it was available, but for example, then it will, if it was not available, it will be able to suggest all the other times, and we are going to see that in the next node. Okay, so let's go back to the canvas, and here we have a conditional. So here it's if the available times is equal to true, okay, from here, then we go here and we have this respond webhook. And okay, I run the previous node. So here, this is what we send back to VAPI. So we need the tool call ID that we find from the webhook node, from the first one. So we drag this here. I don't remember exactly where it is, okay. JSON body, where is it? Message, tool calls, call ID. So this is the one, you know, it begins by call here, okay. And the result. So VAPI needs this structure to be sent back to be to make it work. So here VAPI receives that, okay, it's available, so it can say to the client, okay, your table is available, so do you want to make a reservation? And then we go to the reservation function from there. Okay, this is the case where the requested time is available, and if it's not, we have the same hook, but here it's not available. So okay, let me run this before. Okay, of course it will not run because here it was available, but in this case it will transmit the alternative times that are here, okay, and he will ask, oh, okay, the table is not available at 7:30 p.m. Oh, but we have 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. for example. And then if the client accepts, then we rerun the booking. And if nothing is available and we propose the client another day and say, oh, okay, I want to come next Monday, then we rerun all this process to find if it's available or propose new times, etc. So from there, all this goes back to VAPI. We were in the editor tab, but this is the execution time. So let me show you the run that we did just before. So it is this one. What is this is the run I've done now for the demo, okay, and we see that is a test run. This was a real run. So we have two. We have this one, and in this one you can see that it's not a tool call, this end of call report, because it's the end of the call. But just before, we have another hook call here, and here we can see that is going to the alternative times. So when we want to debug that, we can copy this data to the editor, okay? And so now here we have the data from the call that we have seen together. So let's run it just to see it in action in N8N. So if I test the workflow with the data from just before, okay, bam, that's done. And here, if I click on the response hook, I see that the requested time was not available, but is suggesting these two alternative times that he has proposed me. Here, this is the reserve table workflow, which is triggered by the reserve table tool from VAPI. It's very similar. So here, the webhook. So this is, by the way, the URL that we passed in the tool for the integration, so the production URL. Okay. Here we have a node where we get all the necessary fields, so the guest, the name, the date, the notes, the email, all what we want to insert in our Airtable reservation table. So let's test it. Okay, so this is not the one from today. Again, this is another one I have done. Okay, so back to the canvas. Here's a suitable table. It's the same one that in the other workflows. The parse date works the same. The formatted date too, parse time, and then we have everything we need to Airtable. But here in Airtable is a create or update operation in the reservation table. So here we map, so I execute the other nodes, we map each column manually, so just by dragging and dropping. We want the date, the time, the table ID, the guest, the name, and the email and the note, and the status here is confirmed. Oh, and I forget to pass to pass the phone. I should have done it, but basically the phone, we can get it from the webhook in the beginning. Okay, so we run this. Okay, and this I think has a trigger Airtable to register the reservation. Okay, and then we send back this with the webhook. Now this is our last workflow, the update tables availability, that runs each time there is a change in the reservation table from Airtable. Okay, and here we I put poll times to do it every minute, so each time something changes in this table, this thing will take it from every minute, and here we need to have the base by ID and the table by ID. Okay, so that was my reservation, one of the tests I did yesterday. And then here in edit fields, we get all the necessary fields that we need to update the availability table. So we need the start time, the table ID, the date, and the reservation ID. Okay, so this is here in Airtable. You see date, table ID, time slot. So the starting time, for example, for us was 20:30 here. Okay. And then, okay, let's run it. Okay, and back to Canvas. Then here again, we need some code, because if we book one time, we need to create 3 additional records that correspond to the 3 next consecutive 30-minute slots to cover the 2-hour reservation, and format the records for the table availability table. So here, okay, we get all this data, we generate the 4 slots, and we format it for insert them in Airtable. Okay. So again, Claude has done all the work, I guarantee. So then we need a loop, because here, okay, let me show you. If I test this, you know, I have 4 records. So these records have these slots. So we have to update these records. So we need to make a loop to run it for each one of these records. So we go back to the canvas, and here we have a loop item, and okay, it is going to loop for the, so it receives our records. Okay. Okay, so here is the first one, and it's going to send that to Airtable with an operation of create or update the table availability. So it's going to update all these values. Okay, I hope it's clear. There is some complex operations here, but again, you can download everything, and everything is commented, so you can deep dive into it to understand how it works. To recap, we have seen how we can handle complex tables management and reservation with a voice agent for a restaurant, managing the guest and the table and the availability in Airtable, running the workflow functions that are the tools from VAPI into N8N to check the table availability and to reserve a table, and then how to update the table availability in Airtable using again an N8N workflow. So I hope you like it. Now, if I was building that for a restaurant, we could have some more advanced features, that, for example, payment security to capture the payment details for no-show fee. If people don't show, we don't want to block the tables. We want them to call and say, hey, I cannot come, otherwise we take a fee. To send automated reminders 3 hours prior reservation. Also, we could upgrade to a database like Supabase to make the system more scalable, and we could build a custom graphic user interface or a dashboard for a tailored user experience. And of course, if you want to build something similar and custom from your business, please book now a free consulting, and I will be delighted to explore your business and see how we can improve operations or anything. So book a call now. And if you like this tutorials, I'm going to produce tutorials every week, especially about N8N and VAPI. So subscribe now and stay tuned for more fun. And if you want to request some type of tutorial, please say me in the comments, and I would be delighted to produce it as soon as possible. Bye!